Howdy. I gotta tell you, this has been a wild ride. I did a video 2 months ago that went viral. I didn't really expect it to do that. I did a previous video on that almost a year ahead of time, and it basically took about almost a year before all of a sudden it started to jump. And I'm going to talk about when videos go viral, why they may go viral, what you might have to deal with, what kind of effect it might have on what you do later on, and what can you take away from it. That's where we're going to go. I'm probably not going to put timestamps in this. I'm not sure how long this is going to go, but I'm going to try to keep it around 15 minutes. Let's see how it goes. So anyway, we know that the concept of a video going viral basically means that you got a whole lot of people who watched it. And there's some big names who every single video they put out goes viral. Then you have some folks who are kind of mid-range in the fact that maybe they have 4,000 or 5,000 subscribers, and every once in a while they get a video that goes viral more often than someone like me in general. But, you know, their numbers stay consistent and they're looking to reach a specific audience. I'm one of those people who really hasn't ever aimed at trying to reach a specific audience. I like to share my opinion on stuff. I have opinions on a bunch of things. I try to stay kind of in the middle unless something really irks me. And if you go back and look at the last 10 videos I've done, you can probably figure out what has irked me and what hasn't, and what I've tried to share. So, you know, before I started doing this video, I wanted to see if anyone had really talked about videos going viral. And I found a video from 12 years ago. It was a TED Talk by a guy named Kevin Allocca, who used to work for YouTube at that time. And the title of his presentation was Why Videos Go Viral. That's a pretty good topic. And he basically gave 3 reasons why videos go viral. The first reason is what he called taste makers. And that basically says that something cool happens and you get one person who, you know, puts something up there, just, you know, really interested them. They're not really thinking anything about it. And then out of the blue, someone famous, because that's how it happened with, you know, the example he showed, someone famous or someone who's already doing pretty well on YouTube finds that video, decides to share that video, and it blows up. And he showed a video where this guy just put up a double rainbow video, and he was ecstatic by it. And Jimmy Kimmel saw the video, and he shared it. Next thing you know, it had almost 50 million views. It's like, wow. I mean, that's just it. Who knew that was going to happen at that time? The next topic is called participation. And that basically says when other people start making fun of a video or you know, find a video that really empowers them, they start feeling really good about it, they create their own videos or they start talking about it, and people go to see those videos because they are usually better known than the person who, you know, did the first video. And then everyone wants to go back and see, you know, what started all this trouble. And they used as an example that Friday's song. I can't remember the young lady's name now. Oh my God, what was her name? I can't remember her name. But anyhow, most of you are going to remember that particular song, that Friday's song, whatever. And it took off. And there were a lot of people on Instagram and on TV who shared that thing before it went anywhere. And there it is. And she's done pretty well for herself after that. So I'm happy for her that that happened. She just put together a video with her friends, and there you go. Something else to think about. Then the last thing they called it is unexpectedness. And basically that says you have something surprising that's happened, whether it's intentional or not. Now in this particular instance, remember this was a TED Talk 12 years ago. He shared a video where some guy did something that was almost like a video stunt, whatever. And it made this little song, and then some guy just put it up there. And then the guy had it change colors. And then it went nuts. It had nothing to do with anything. It was stupid, but people caught on to it. Some people went in and then they started changing colors. Some of them did other things where they changed the music, stuff I don't know how to do. There was one video where this guy showed a cat watching this video because the cartoon was a cartoon cat. And then someone decided to double on that by showing a video of the cat watching the cat video. I mean, you never know when you're going to go viral and what's going to trigger anything like that. And this was one of those kind of things that I wondered about, because the last video I did that went viral 2 months ago, where I was talking about discovering this, I get it, this little capsule or something, it'll come back to me, where I started taking it because my podiatrist said I should take it because I had this pain. I mean, it was just getting worse in my feet. You know, foot neuropathy. I've had that since probably, 2012. A supplement called alpha lipoic, because someone finally gave me something to tell me how to pronounce it. Alpha lipoic acid. So I decided to mention it, and it started working really well. And I just wanted to put it out there to go along with the video that I did last year, talking about different things that I had tried to see if I could ease the pain. And I tried a whole bunch of things. So I just put it out there. It was another one of those weird subjects where most of the videos that were talking about foot neuropathy had exercises to do about it. Or they talked about how it could happen and ways that, other ways that maybe you could find it, find a way to diminish the pain some. But that was about it. But I used all these things that I had found or I had heard from previous podiatrists and, this guy that I have now when I first went to him. So it was just amazing. And that really, like I said, what happened is that around the time that this video started to jump, the other video from a year ago started to jump. It didn't jump as much as this one, but it got to a big number. I'm going to give you the numbers in a little bit, but both of those things. And I actually put a link to the video that just recently went viral on that one, saying, hey, by the way, I've done this other video talking about something that's worked for me. Check it out. But that video, like I said, it did not have as many views as this one. This one here is almost 10 times, almost. It's on its way there. So it's just amazing. So sometimes that's how that works, is that maybe something you've put out there beforehand is going to make it grow, or you put out something that just fascinates enough people so that they want to come see it. I don't know. But here's some numbers, if I can, talk about these kinds of things. So when this video first went out, it took probably a week or a month before it started picking up steam. And most of the people who saw it were thinking, wow, this is really easy. I've never heard of that before. This is the early people. And I had, a lot of people thanking me for it, and they were sharing it with other people, and then I guess they wanted to come see it. And that was kind of cool. Then at a certain point, things started to change. And a lot more people started coming into the video. And now they wanted to share their version of what I said. For instance, I talked about alpha lipoic acid, and then they came up with something where I guess there's an R and there's an S and there's a couple of other things, which I had never heard of. My podiatrist didn't tell me about it. And, I didn't mind that people were going to say that there were others that they thought were better. But when some of those people were saying, well, I'm wrong because I told everyone else the wrong version, now I'm a little upset because the one that I'm using worked for me. And a few other people said the one that I recommended worked for them. So saying that I'm wrong about something, I gotta admit that started to irk me a lot. And then I had a couple of people who wanted to come on and say, well, he doesn't know what he's talking about. He's not a doctor. He's not an expert. Why are you listening to him? I didn't put it out there as an expert. I put it out there as something that I knew it worked for me and I wanted to share, because there's a lot of people who had trouble with their feet. I didn't make anyone a guarantee. All I said was, this worked for me. It's out there. Maybe it'll work for you. And, you know, it's just one of those kind of things where that was a little irksome, but I made it by that. And then all of a sudden, some folks decided to get personal. I guess I have this kind of mole thing on my... I hadn't really paid attention to that for over a decade. It's been there a good long time. And so I had some folks saying, you know, you might want to get that checked out. Maybe you have cancer. Or you should put some stuff on that to get rid of it. And I'm thinking, no, this is not what this is. I'm not taking your advice. Just like the other person said to me, you know, y'all ain't doctors. You don't know that everything is for everybody. But I've been to a lot of different doctor's appointments. I have not had a single doctor yet say that it's cancerous or that it's anything to worry about. So, you know, but I just thought, wow, that is so weird. You know, and I know that some of those people are just trying to help, but I'm thinking, you know, that's not the right thing to do. If you go on a video and there's a young lady on there and her hair is down to here, whatever, and then, you know, everyone comes on and says, you know, you ought to grow your hair longer, or you should make it red, or you should do whatever, you know, make it into braids or different things like that. You've taken away from what the idea of the original video was supposed to be. That doesn't necessarily make the person who did the video all that happy. But what I decided to do at that point is I'm not going to respond to every single video or every single comment. As a matter of fact, a lot of those folks started talking to each other. So I was like, okay, I don't have to do that. There were a couple that I deleted. I didn't, you know, I've only blocked, I think, 2 comments because it was a little overly personal. And I decided, nah, I don't want to, you know, come back here and see that. No one else needs to see that. You know, it's personal about me, not about themselves, about me. I'm like, I don't know who you are, so no, that's got to go. But I've left everything else there, but I haven't answered everybody. And man, you know, I had another video, like I said, it went viral a long time ago. And I'm getting ready to talk about that one as far as, you know, comparing it to this one. And that one was me doing a comparison between Verizon Fios and Time Warner cable. There's no Time Warner, by the way, anymore. It went to Spectrum and then it went to something else. But at that time, that's one of those kind of things where there's this competition between what people do. And a lot of people jumped on that one fussing about Time Warner. They didn't like Time Warner. They liked Verizon. Most of them did anyway. But it was an angry video. And in my opinion, that first video I did wasn't an angry video. This is just doing a comparison thing. But that one was massive. So let's talk about other things here. For instance, I did this alpha lipoic acid video, and then after that I did 2 other videos. Neither one of those videos reached 50 views. Even after the one about the alpha lipoic went really big, the others still haven't reached 50, which basically shows that just because you go viral doesn't mean it's going to happen to everything. And at least from my perspective, I'm not going to do all of my videos talking about medical stuff on here. I'm not a doctor. Now, with that said, I've been a patient. And on my other channel, I've talked about cataract surgery. I've had cataract surgery. I had the first one done on the right eye, and then 2 weeks later, had that one done on the left eye. I've talked about the healing process and how it hasn't gone the way I thought it would. And even though there had been no other videos that were actually talking about people who had cataract surgery and how they were getting by on it, I guess that's not necessarily a big one. Because I guess most of the people who end up getting eye surgery go to LASIK surgery. It's a totally different thing than cataracts because cataracts are basically related to something medical. In my instance, it's because I had problems early on controlling my diabetes and my eyes just kept getting worse. So maybe that's something different. Who knows? It may go viral one of these days, but it hasn't done that. So just because you do something medical does not necessarily mean it's going to go viral. So let's talk about the numbers. The most current video talking about my foot neuropathy and whatever It's got about 46,000 views right now, and it's still growing. I'm getting something like 600 views a day. That's just fascinating. That's kind of freaking me out. You know, I'm not used to getting, maybe 10 videos when a video goes new and then having it die out. So I really appreciate that. It got me 329 new subscribers. When I came into this year, I was just under 700, and I said my goal was to try to get as close to 800 as I could. Blew that away, so I've done well with that. I've had 2,100 watch time hours. The first video, I think it was somewhere around 1,500. That 2,100, if I took the last 3 years, which I did because this is what I do, and I added the watch view hours for those 3 and then added it to this one, I still haven't reached the 4,000 views, which you're supposed to have in a year. But it's a nice start, so who knows? I've got, I got 10 months to try to see if I can get that, other 1,900. We'll see how that goes. At 21 days, that video had 1,053 views. At 40 days, it was at 24,000 views, which is 13 days later. That's shocking. And it's still growing. So it's surpassed the video that I mentioned about talking about Time Warner versus Verizon. It just passed that one yesterday. That's amazing. That is just wild. Now, the other one actually has more comments. It had 178 comments, but it's been sitting out there for 9 years. This one is at 162. I think we're going to blow past that, and I hope everyone's nice about it. We'll find out. So, there we are. I mean, it's been a wild ride. I'm ecstatic that I was able to get there. I'm ecstatic that a lot of people have thanked me. They think it's going to help me or help them. There it is. I'm not a doctor. I'm just a guy who had a podiatrist tell me something. I decided to try it. It worked for me, and I wanted to help others. There's nothing that's ever bad about when you're trying to help others. That's how I see things anyway. And the video after this one, because I'm wondering if this one's even going to get 50 views. We'll find out. But the one after this one, I don't know what it's going to be about right now, but I know it's going to be something that's on my mind around that time, and I'll put something together and put it out there because, this is going to be a weird year. It's already a weird year, and we're barely 2 months into it. So we'll see what happens. Anyway, my name's Mitch Mitchell. I'm wearing my Syracuse shirt because Syracuse plays Clemson tonight. Yes, Syracuse is my team. And we'll see how it goes. Y'all take care. And by the way, thank you for watching that other video if you watched it, and thank you for watching any videos that I have after that. Y'all take care.